Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 609. If you're writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book, but you're having some trouble getting it done, or perhaps you're at the stage where you need help reaching more readers to let them know about your book, you are in the right place. Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, especially social media, look for Christine Inc., like that stuff we write with. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 19 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn someone who barely thinks of themselves as a writer into a published book author. Those three things are my pillars of being an author: writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. First, forget inspiration. Habit is more dependable. Habit will sustain you whether you're inspired or not. Octavia Butler. And habit, big word here on the show. It is FAQs Friday, where I answer your frequently asked questions, whatever book-related questions are on your mind. And here's today's question. Why did you decide to do this podcast? In your words, Christine, what was your why? And I'm laughing because I love that. This has to be a regular because they're throwing one of my favorite questions right back in my face. What's your why? I do this all the time here. So that's why I chose this. And I also chose it because, as many of you know, we recently celebrated episode number 600. Because you're in this with me here. So we celebrated episode number 600 of Your Daily Writing Habit. So it seems like a good time to go back to the beginning, way back to episode number 1, and reflect on how this show came to be and my why for doing the show. Well, the first part is I want to share a little backstory that I wanted to do a podcast for years. But to be honest, the traditional format sounded exhausting to me. Tracking down guests, doing all the administration involved in booking them, and doing these 30 to 45 minute interviews that have to go to be edited, that takes time and a turnaround time and bumpers and music. And I thought that you just needed to do all this fanciness, sending out the episodes to be edited so you have a lag time. And because of all that, maybe producing one podcast a week. And that whole idea, again, just seemed exhausting. It seemed like really high maintenance to me. That's why I was so excited when I heard about these things called Amazon Alexa Flash Briefings. Amazon Alexa Flash Briefings. This is how your daily writing habit originates. Many of you don't know that who listen to the podcast. So first it originates as a flash briefing, and then it is sent to podcast channels, all through this awesome service I use called Sound Up Now, and I'll put a link in the show notes. And I seriously love these dudes. They're allowing me to be a podcaster without all the fanciness. So love Sound Up Now. And as you can probably guess, my show is pretty much plug and play. So I record, I upload, voila, it's a podcast. And thank you all for not requiring me to do all the fancy music and everything. I mean, my whole goal here is to provide value. It's to help you create a daily writing habit. And like I always say, to write and finish writing an awesome book. So I appreciate that you're all not demanding that I be technologically fancy in the process. And the other thing I love about flash briefings is that they're designed to be only a few minutes long, and they're designed to be a daily communication form. That was another initial motivation for using this format and using the Sound Up Now service. I felt like approximately, 5-minute long daily podcasts, that was perfect for authors because you guys are very busy writing your books. Do you really need to listen to me talk for 45 minutes every single day? I think 5 minutes is good. Just enough time to teach you all a single topic lesson and hopefully give you some sort of strategy or at least motivation that you can put to use in your writing as soon as each episode is done. And I know many of you out there, you tell me that you use listening to the podcast every day as kind of like a trigger to go into the writing cave. You say, I listen to your podcast, and then I go and I work on my book. That's perfect. That's how I designed it. So in other words, 5 minutes every day dedicated to helping you build you guessed it, daily writing habit. It's really that simple, and that was my motivation. That was my why. That was my everything from day one of this show, which was now 608 episodes ago. Oh my goodness. And speaking of that, I will include in all the show notes links today that I include. I will include a link to episode number 1. I'm going to dig that out. I think I'm going to dig that out from my YouTube channel, one of the places where this airs. So you can listen to episode number 1, and I think it sounds pretty different than today's episode. I know I have better podcasting equipment now, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to include that link. I'm going to include the Sound Up Now link in case any of you want to create a super easy flash briefing / podcast. Again, I'm not a techie person at all, and this is easy for me to do. I don't have a staff of people or anything like that. So if you want to find a way to communicate to your audience, highly recommend this. So I will include the Sound Up Now link in the show notes, as well as episode number 1 of this show, as well as usual, the link to my Inc. authors group on Facebook. So you can connect with other listeners, and most importantly, you can connect with other authors and publishing resources so you can get your book done. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. Until tomorrow, happy writing.